Happy Friday to everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unspoken Truth. I am your host, Tanise. We here again for another topic, another conversation. Um, we got to do it. So tonight's topic is communication skills. Boy, do we need to have this conversation. I'm hoping to learn some things. I'm hoping to give some nuggets and jewels. I do have a guest. It is my uncle. Um, yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Happy Friday, Unc. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Everybody, this is my amazing Uncle Douglas. Um, Me and him got so much in common. I had to get him on the show.
Glad to be
um,
here.
we gonna talk about some things that need to be discussed. Communication skills. Whew.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
gonna be a pretty harsh topic. It may ruffle a few feathers, but what the hell? This is what I do. um, Communication skills, I feel like, is a lack, especially in our communities, in our culture. And I would say the reason for that is due to us not being taught. But then after a certain age, it's your responsibility to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So communication skills. I even got to learn something from this conversation because I feel like a lot of times I have conversations with people and I come off as aggressive or
Mm-hmm.
assertive or bold or outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I feel like that's the easiest way to tackle something is head on versus retreat.
Yep.
Tuck your tail. I feel like I've done that at some phase in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't work for me. Um, Things that I'm lacking: communication skills, how to express myself without the emotion overtaking or overshadowing what I'm trying to say,
Mm-hmm.
or it coming off as I'm attacking, because
Right.
I've been told that before. Um, it's the way maybe it's my delivery. Maybe I need to work on my tone, um, my approach, even. I don't feel like that I say things with intention to hurt people's feelings,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe they're just not used to somebody as raw as me.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that the
And
way
direct.
I choose to say it,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
still feel like should be taken with love, first of all,
Right.
not ridicule or criticism. Because I feel like when people stop saying stuff to you about how they feel about maybe something you said or done,
Mm-hmm.
is when that person has completely checked out with communicating all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Once things get to that point, it's like, okay, how is it even worth repairing?
Mm-hmm.
Something, I feel like communication issues within relationships, some things expose things that maybe you wouldn't have seen
Right.
if
Right.
you wasn't misunderstood,
Right.
or the way you came rubbed somebody the wrong way. Um, let's talk about it, huh?
All right. Well, you said some things like, there's an old adage that says, with communication, if a tree falls in the forest, and nobody's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. And that's an old adage. And, they say for communication, you need a sender, a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a sender and there's no receiver, you don't have communication. So the old adage rings true that if there's a tree that falls in the forest and there's nobody here to hear it, then it does not make a sound. It's kind of the same thing with our communication in life. You said that you might come across as raw. and people think that you're a little too raw sometimes or too direct, that comes across as active listening also, you know, because communication is such a nowadays with our media and the fact that we're being taught now through communication to only focus for 15 to 20 seconds at a time. The length for a TikTok, the length for a meme, you know. So
Ooh.
our it's hard for us to focus after a 30-second period now. So everything that has to be communicated to us now, because this right now generation, and we're in a right now world, that everything has to be communicated quickly and effectively. So we live in a time now where people have to be communicated to quickly and effectively. You lose the attention span. You absolutely lose it. So we've got to, yeah. So we've got to keep that in mind when we talk to somebody, especially our loved ones and people within our circle. That if you communicate with someone, you got to understand it, and you've got to be able to read cues and to see if the person is actively listening. If they're not actively listening, you might as well cut the conversation off. All right, back up and say, try to re-engage them and say, hey, did you really understand what I said? Not attackingly, but I like what you said, that people don't understand when you come directly and they think it's wrong. In the military, we used to call it bluff, bottom line up front. Okay. I don't need a lot of the fluff when I'm trying to get to the truth. And when I'm trying to communicate a message with you, I need you to actively listen. And actively listening meaning you're not waiting for me to get quiet so you can make your point, because that's not active listening.
In other words, you saying, are you listening to respond or are you listening to understand?
Exactly.
Because those are two different things.
Two different things. Yep.
It's not the same.
But key in communication, and a lot of times when we're dealing with loved ones, spouses, friends, whatever, we forget the whole active listening thing, and in any relationship or anything like that, I used to, when I was pastoring and teaching and preaching, and I used to always say, hey, there's three things that ruin relationships: communication, finance, in the bedroom. All right. Communication being, yeah.
They ain't ready. They not ready.
That's true though.
Finances, lack of communication, and what is going wrong in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the other two, the finance and the bedroom, stem from, if you have problems in those two areas, they stem from the communication. Okay. Communication is the basis for any foundation we have with people, even in nature. When we're dealing with nature, in our harmonics and our energy that we transfer and absorb, that's communication. You wonder how, like for instance, if you get a cat, you don't have to teach the cat to do certain things. You don't have to train a cat. They're innately trained. They know where to use the bathroom, because there's a communication, universal energy that's communicating with all of us. And not to go down the rabbit hole, but to bring it back close to the topic is, if we can't communicate, we lack a heritage. We lack a foundation to leave for our next generation. We was talking earlier, about your grandmother and stuff like that. I feel connected, like you say, I feel connected to my grandmother, so I need to know more. So I need full communication from those that knew her so that she can live on. Her legacy doesn't die. That's through communication, though. But if we have a family that's secret about things, which stems from a lack of trust, which comes from a lot of things in life, but if we get to a situation like that where we can't communicate with our family about key things, especially when somebody like you, all right, who has the ability to walk in a realm of energy, and where like for instance, myself also, energy is my first language. Okay. So for me,
Tell me.
communication is easy. See, it's easy. See, that's easy because English is my second language. Energy is my first one. So
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want to say to me because I, like for instance, if I
Body
tell you,
language, the body language don't tell it all.
right,
You
right,
say whatever you want from
so
across the street. I
right,
already know
right,
what's up, man.
right.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's say I have the chicken pox. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have the mumps. Okay, or the measles. It doesn't matter what I say to you, you're going to catch the real energy of what I have. I can tell you I got the measles all day, but you're going to get chicken pox because that's my real energy at this moment. So that's why when you communicate with people, you got to be able to decipher the energy. You got to look right at somebody and be like, man, you lying. And just flat out, come on, man, why? Come on, sis, why? You don't have to, but just,
Well, I'll say that people, I believe that people lie for fear because what will cause you to be able to lie about something unless you fear something or someone.
right.
That's just my belief.
It's
Outside
true.
of that, who gonna stop you? What
Right.
I mean, you and could tradition your life for you to get it right, get it wrong,
Yep.
trial and error, fail. It have to happen.
But
I the reason why I think that this topic was like, okay, because earlier today I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about.
right.
People don't understand that sometimes it just be what be on my mind or on my heart.
Right.
And I'll
Right.
be okay, well, I'm gonna roll with that because
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason it was placed on either one or both. And so I'm just gonna roll with it. It makes no
Mm-hmm.
sense to resist. But I think that this conversation is something that most of us run from. It's
Right.
not. It's not a conversation that's a comfortable one. It's not a conversation that everybody is breaking their neck to have.
Right.
It's not a conversation that most even acknowledge needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a necessary one though.
Right.
With all of that being said, like it's a necessary conversation to be had because I, including myself, lack certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot adjust or grow from it or educate myself on what it is I'm not doing right or wrong until it's brought to my attention.
Right.
Now I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Right.
Let me, figure out what this is connected to. I think
Mm-hmm.
that our
Mm-hmm.
culture runs from our feelings because that's the easy way out. That's
That's
the
it.
easy route. It's like,
Yep.
oh well, because I used to do it. I used to do
Mm-hmm.
it for a long
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like, nope, I don't care how I'm feeling it. I
Right.
could be feeling like this at that moment. And later on, is if I'm not thinking about it, out of sight, out of mind. But see,
Mm-hmm.
that's also a mental trap, in my
Right.
opinion, when people
Right.
say that, because it can't be out of sight, out of mind, because it's gonna
Right.
always be in the mind before it's anywhere else.
Yep. That's where it's conceived. That's where it
Your
starts.
thoughts turn into your actions.
Yep. Yep.
It's not the other way around.
No.
So
No.
a lot of people are miseducated about how the
Mm-hmm.
mind works.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that could be contributing to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Lack of education,
You know.
proper upbringing,
Right. Right.
role models,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
examples
Yep.
of what this is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
And I believe all of us got shortchanged
yeah.
when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
because
let me throw a conspiracy theory in there. Everybody like conspiracies,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm always being accused of here he is with his conspiracy theories.
You too,
And
huh?
yeah, but
Oh,
yeah,
I thought
but
it was just me. I thought,
now,
okay, all
but
right,
guess what? It ain't conspiracy if it's true, okay? And that's
okay.
the thing. So it's only
Facts.
conspiracy if I feel like it might be this way for a certain reason. If I have fact, it is not conspiracy, okay? The fact that I can say that communication was absolutely and 100% positively interrupted in our culture intentionally, okay? And not just our culture, but our society as a whole. John D. Rockefeller, the oil, yeah, the oil conglomerate, huge in Cleveland with the oil. So everybody in Cleveland know Rockefeller. I went to John D. Rockefeller Elementary School, which is torn down now, but it was over off of Huff. But I grew up over there, and I went to that school. But John D. Rockefeller, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, he decided to overhaul our education system. And when he did that, everything that we learned, all of our schools, all of our colleges, everything, the way we learn and the way we're taught and communicated to and communicated came from the John D. Rockefeller model. What people also don't know is John D. Rockefeller's wife's name was Spelman. She founded the female black college down in Atlanta by Morehouse. Okay? So this was a constructed effort of a reset. It was a design, purpose, intent, weaponized against our people to break the communication. Because if you don't know where you came from, you see, they like to teach us that we all came on these ships from Africa. Well, let me tell you something. I've done the research, all right, and I've got it laid out. And I'm gonna tell you this: from the time slavery started up until it ended, it was impossible for 8 to 9 million black people to be moved from Africa in these little crickety wooden boats they got to the Americas. Okay?
They don't know that we was already here.
Already
We
here.
was already here.
Okay?
Nobody came at us.
Nope. And here's a communication. When America was founded and George Washington became the de facto first president, he had a treaty with Morocco. Moroccans are black, been black, still black. The treaty stated that the United States, the newly formed United States, would not make Moroccan citizens of the United States into slaves, but they lied. You see, why would they have a treaty with a country saying we're not going to make y'all slaves when we thought they was in Morocco? No, they were here also in America. We populated the entire planet, okay? And so while we were sailing the seas and all of this, we actually took the Caucasoids, taught them from the mountains, brought them out of the caves, communicated with them how to live, how to bathe, how to eat, how to domesticate animals, how to farm, money, commerce.
And this is why I keep trying to explain to people, although this is slightly off the subject, when I ask people who started slavery.
Right.
The narrative has always been, oh, they started it. No, we the ones with all the resources and everything that they needed. We taught them how to do it. And they flipped Bishop on us. And we wasn't ready. We wasn't ready. We still not ready. We still not ready.
And that's why I brought it into the communication thing, because it goes back to the Rockefeller thing, because the communication was severed between us as a people and our people. They're still digging up our people's past. But guess what? They have to keep with the narrative. And the only way to do that is to keep the communication broken between us. See, I'm talking about a deeper communication now, like the one you talking with your grandma, Old Reed. I'm talking about the deep communication, the one that really gets us set and founded, the one where our ancestors are reaching back and talking to us, the energy communication. When they severed that, that was how they were able to control us. Then they instilled it in us, and we taught our children that. Our children are teaching their children that. At
It's a
some point, we got
it's a domino effect.
yeah,
And
we
I
got to
call
break
it,
the cycle.
that's a real generational curse right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And we
mm-hmm.
almost like 10 generations down, if not more.
Right. And it
Under each
wasn't
bloodline as to how
accident.
long
It was
it's been occurring.
it was not an
It
accident.
no, but it take people like us
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna question everything.
Mm-hmm.
I fall for
Everything.
nothing
I think,
because I think that it's hard. I think that it's hard for people to accept because that is the start of the awakening, is
yeah,
what we now know is the awakening. Most
right,
people
right,
like whatever, y'all don't know what y'all talking. But again, it is something that happens
right.
mentally
It's to
once
happen.
you start waking all the way up. See,
And
a
once
lot
it
of
happens,
people will be like, that ain't how this go, but y'all don't understand that we energy beings. It is
yeah,
no other way for it to go.
right.
This is why they denied us the right to know that our bodies got certain centers,
Right,
chakras, and we
right.
supposed to be working on them. And this is how we balance ourselves out and keep ourselves aligned and grounded.
Yeah,
I've been walking barefoot my whole life. And I done been told so many different things gonna happen to me because of it without realizing as a grown woman now, like, girl, you been grounding yourself your whole life while everybody been
grounded.
screaming, you need to put some shoes on your feet. Your feet gonna get big. I done been told so much stuff over the years
I'm grounded.
without realizing that that is how I've been able to connect
Right, right,
to these
right.
energies and entities that you talking about, because
Yes,
you can't just do it until you learn the basics. Like I
right,
had to learn the basics. It's
right,
basics.
right.
You got a natal
You know,
chart. People will be
right.
like, well, what's that? We still communicating
This is
despite them
all communicating.
saying that it's not happening. We don't know how. We
Right,
do. We do.
right.
But oftentimes we become frustrated because we so busy trying to convince
Yeah,
other people like, no, we already tried it that way. We
right,
already tried it that way. You all already know what's about to happen. Like, why we keep going around dancing in circles about what need to be done
right.
when it starts with us
Yeah,
within
yeah,
ourselves. It's
yeah.
you deciding like, okay, I'm gonna do this journey, no matter
Right.
how hard or difficult or how many roadblocks or detours.
I'm
I'm
gonna do
committed.
it. I'm gonna do
I'm
it.
committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And
And
see, and
this
that
is
was
4 years later for me. Like, I'm committed
mhm,
because it's too late to go back now, and I
right,
can't see what I seen now. Because it don't work like that. That's
right.
like trying to put somebody else's prescription glasses on your face and expecting to see
Exactly.
things the way they see it. And that's not
Exactly.
how this. No, that ain't how this goes.
I'm so exactly. And I feel like I'm so committed to getting this message out there, and things like that. And so committed with self-communication, self-love, all right. Uh that I want to be able to communicate on all levels. Look here. I had to do my ethers. I had to finally start my ethers. I had to start my dreads up. You see?
Boy, cause that's a whole nother time. Boy, they done made us not like the center,
Yes,
the root.
yes.
This is how we communicate with the
Right,
universe. Y'all
right.
done told us like, stay out the sun,
Yes.
put some
Mm-mm.
sunglasses on, and make sure you got some SPF and all this old stuff on
I
your
don't
skin.
need that.
Hey, listen here, bro. No, we need the sun. We really not
Right,
getting enough of it. We have a
right.
deficiency in it. We
Exactly.
y'all crazy. Our
Yes.
Sundays, people be like, what you talk? Yes, here. Y'all better stop letting them program y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yes.
To understand that the lighting in the classroom
Mhm.
is the equivalent to the lighting in prison.
Yep.
How
They
much
train
of that day, how much of that school day do you spend inside versus outside? I'll wait.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll
Yep.
wait. And
Yep.
it's intentional, like you said,
It's intentional.
for us to continue to move further away from what it
Yep.
is aligned with us.
Right. That it's
'Cause
designed.
it's
It's a
not what
design.
they could never know how to be us,
Right.
how to live this life, how
Right.
to do the things that we do. We are the only people on this planet that do the things that we do.
Yeah. So now what has they done? What has happened? They with the communication, they cut it off with us. So now there was a great reset in the 1800s, 1890s, around the area. They reset, great reset. And there was another reset. We got a major reset about every 100 years or so. We have a major reset of our society. Whoever takes over after the reset suppresses all the information that came prior because
Mhm.
they have to have their own narrative. And that's those 13 families that run the world anyway. So they have to have their own narrative.
They ain't ready, huh? They ain't ready for
Them
that.
Rothschilds, them DuPonts, them
Woo!
Rockefellers. You know?
No. That's the stuff that they claim that we crazy about when we
Yeah,
start talking
yeah.
about. Okay. The
See,
wealthy.
so what they did was they
That's who
used
they
that.
are, the wealthy.
Right. So they
Uh,
used that to cut off our knowledge of self, our knowledge of communication. So
mhm.
let's bring it all the way back to our home now, all the way down to where we are in our home. So I can't teach my son financial security, financial viability. I can't teach him that to be a financial powerhouse in society because I was never taught. You see,
Mhm.
because those are the communication lines they broke. They broke us. They took the man out of the home, okay, and then took away the trades, okay, because they want to steer everybody to go back to a college now so we can tell you how to think and how to communicate. When
But that's
it,
what they doing with this internet.
that's
It's
it.
the same concept. They just learning how to pimp us in different ways. Ain't nothing changed. Talking about some Juneteenth for who? How you gonna celebrate something that ain't never stopped? You
Listen,
come on, man. Come on, man.
look,
Now, come on now.
hand clap, because
Man,
I'm the same way about. Listen,
uh,
y'all want me
no
to celebrate,
disrespect to nobody who is a believer, but I'm trying to tell you,
right?
if you keep letting them, and excuse my French, piss on you and tell you that it's rain,
It's
this is
raining.
what will continue.
That's right.
Minus the umbrella.
That's right.
Listen here, y'all ain't fixing to keep playing with me.
That's right.
No, you
If
can't
you
get
see,
somebody else to follow through like a sheep,
right.
because that's what you are at that point.
You see,
They can tell
and
you
so
anything to make you believe everything.
yeah,
Man.
and we raised our children. It's sad because we're in a situation where we want our kids to be better. You know, your parents are the only person that want you to be better than them. They're the only people in the world that want you to be better than them. Yet
Oh man.
we if I'm a C-level person and
Mhm.
I'm communicating to my kid, the best that my kid can be is the best C-level. You see, because that's what I could give him. Now he's going to have to, or she going to have to go on their own and take the next step because all I was just a C-level person. I couldn't get you to the B and the A level. You see,
Well,
but we got to be
we synced the mentality of the parents during COVID. We synced it. Now I done been out of school 20 years already. Some
yeah,
of the work that my kids was coming home with, I can't help you with because this wasn't a requirement and it was not taught when I was in school.
right.
This is new stuff. And all
Sure
they
is.
do is find different ways to manipulate the mind so that you're not a critical thinker.
Right.
Because I'm big on that with my
Right.
kids. No, you figure it out within your own mind first.
Right.
Before you listen to Johnny, Jill, or Jacob. Because
Right.
your mind and your body is already going to tell you what's for you and what ain't.
Right. I've got the ability myself to understand. Okay. I have the same
we all
resources
got
everyone
that
else has.
ability. But
Right.
we all got that ability, but some people ignore it.
Right.
Some people dismiss it. That is the greatest misfortune for yourself, is for you to not listen to yourself.
Right.
I tell my son that all day long. Hold up, bro. Forget you didn't listen to what I said. What
Right.
did your gut right here at the moment that whatever was going on say to you? And
Right.
you ignored it. You, my friend, are your own problem. You're
Right.
your own biggest enemy, because you won't even allow yourself to trust yourself. If you can't trust yourself, how in the world is you supposed to trust anybody else?
That's it.
How? It's impossible. I
But
don't
that's
like
what was broken.
myself.
That's what was
I
broken
don't like
too.
myself enough to trust that what myself is telling me is the right thing to do. So
Right. That's
how
crazy.
do I trust the next person? I can't. And
Right.
that is the barrier that has broken all the generations right
Yep.
there.
Love of self.
Because
Love of
it's
self. Trust yourself.
internal. It's
Right.
internal. It's the
Yep.
And we back on the subject. It's the
Mm-hmm.
internal communication within yourself that sets the
Yep.
stage for what your beliefs and
Yep.
your thoughts are going to be in respect to certain things.
Better tune in. You better tune in.
Because just because you was taught that, or
That's
because
right.
you heard it, or you didn't make it right. And
Right.
this is where critical thinking is crucial, because if I don't want the life that you living, I shouldn't be accepting anything that you saying to me as advice.
Right. Right.
Because that's going to lead to me living the same life you're living, not the life
Right.
that I'm trying to achieve.
Right. And that's not
It's
my
still
goal.
a form of communication. I'm
Right.
also a big believer that we don't cross paths with people for no reason. It's
That's right.
something I was supposed to say to you, or something you were supposed to say to me, or some
Right.
type of connection we were supposed to have
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for the greater good of the world. Not,
Right.
oh, me. That's what's
Right.
wrong with everybody.
Yep.
Because y'all
And
think this is your world, and you
yep.
the only one that's supposed to exist here. No, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this is not that. This
Right.
ain't that.
Right.
We all have a specific purpose.
And
Starting
we
with serving without judgment to
yep.
whoever it is that we are appointed to. That's
That's right.
number one.
Yep.
That's at the top of the list. Not after I'm done doing this for this person and that person. No. Did you do what you were supposed to do in the order that you were supposed? Because there is an order in this world.
Right. Right.
We don't even live by that no more, which in our neighborhoods we call chain of commandment.
Yep. Yep.
What happened to it?
Yep.
That's part of the disconnect that you're talking about. What happened
Right.
to it?
Right.
Because we don't have neighborhoods anymore. We just got neighbors.
Neighbors. That's right.
Oh.
Yep.
And we wondering why we in the state we in, because
Yep.
nobody is playing the positions that once was being played, and
Right.
willing to risk whatever it was came with them standing up. The
Yep.
big mamas, the aunties,
Yep.
the neighborhood mothers, the cousins.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that anymore.
What's so sad is that once again that was part of the lost communication, and families used to be so close knit. You know, I mean, so close knit, and I'm guilty of it. I think all of us are guilty of it to some point because life has made us so busy. Okay. Project 2024, Project 2025, the Great Reset is such a distraction to us that, hey, let's see what's happening here in the world that's important. But no, let's watch the Super Bowl. Oh, the NBA Finals on. Cleveland Cavaliers.
But
And listen,
nobody is understanding that those things occur for certain things to take place that
right.
they later gonna tell us that ain't what went on. Explain to me why so many kids missing right here in this city right now, and all everybody can say is, where are they?
Where are they?
Because
We're
we
distracted.
too busy like this all day long.
Yes.
You go out to eat. I'm
Yes.
training myself to stop doing it myself. If I'm out to eat, please,
Yes.
for God's sake, put your phone down.
Put it down.
Can you actually talk to the person that you at the table with?
Yes.
There's
Yes.
no, because no party's just like this the whole
Yes.
time. I got
Yes.
a picture of my food. I got to show who I'm with. I got to tell you what I about to eat. I got to
Yeah.
do all of this stuff.
Yep.
But nobody asked each other like, well, how was your day?
Mm-hmm.
What is your mental state like right now?
Yep.
Is there any way I could possibly show up for you in the areas in which you so desperately need right now?
Right. Right.
Because everything that we talking about wrapped all up in this topic is still rooted in the main problem in this world, which is mental health.
Yep. Yep.
We keep ignoring it. We want to talk about all the stuff that led up to the shooting or the bombing or
Right.
the killing or whatever, but it still is rooted in the mental health
Right.
issues that this world got.
100%.
Because this is a humanity thing. That's what I really want people to understand. It's not about black, white, purple, or green.
Not at all.
Please let that stupid shit go, because it's
Right.
not that. It's
It's
not that.
distraction.
They're literally trying to take us all out.
Right.
This is how you should be thinking about Project
Right.
24, 25,
Yep.
or
Yep.
whatever. Because
Right.
nobody understands, and I'm gonna have a topic on this too. The 15-minute cities that they putting
Mhm.
all over this country, man.
Yeah.
And I've been telling people about it the last 2 years, and everybody has been looking at me like I'm crazy. Well, guess who just signed off on it?
Yeah.
The mayor.
But you
Can
crazy. You
just
conspiracy
wrap your
minded.
mind around it. Man,
But you
Cuyahoga consists of 50 cities or more, right? You're trying to condense that into a 15-minute radius with no cars.
ain't that something? Yeah.
With 24-hour surveillance.
Yep.
With you having to have permission to drive or even have privileges. Is y'all paying attention?
Listen,
But
if
we too
COVID,
busy out here discussing who Diddy done slept with, who
right.
he done got away with doing what to, and none of this stuff matters,
Right.
because whatever it is you doing out here it's gonna be exposed.
Yeah.
It's impossible for you to do anything in this life
Right.
and it not come out one day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a fact. You can't get around it. So can we get over whatever is going on with everybody else,
Hey, quit
so
being
we can get
distracted.
on to what's going on with us,
Right.
and
Right.
what we need to do to try to prepare or combat or we not even ready.
Nope.
They finna
Nope.
walk us. They finna walk us down like, man. They
Like
finna
you
walk
said.
us down like double barrel shotguns.
Right. Like you said, it's the
what's happening?
communication aspect. It's the communication aspect.
Yeah.
And if we don't know that this is, you see, like you mentioned, and I like when you said, with the internet thing, with the Akashic records, you know, that we can all tap into the universal, the real internet, the real internet. You see,
The real
we,
plug.
right. You see, the real person. You see, we as people, we don't know that we're connected. You see, we think that we're all individuals. We don't know that we're connected and we can download this information from the Akashic record. So since we can't do it because it's not taught anymore, the mystic schools have died out. It's not taught how to balance your chakras, how to get in line with nature, the electric force that run through you. We're not taught that anymore. So we don't know that why are all these old buildings with these cymatic designs in it from healing frequencies and things like that. We don't know. They destroyed the knowledge. So the internet is man's way of trying to reconnect us like animals are connected. Like they do experiments. They did experiment with monkeys on an island in the Middle East, and they taught them how to crack a certain fruit. And so what happened was, not only did they learn how to crack the fruit on this island, but across the seas, thousands of miles away, the same species of animals also started cracking that fruit the same way that the ones learned 1,000 miles away. These are animals. They don't communicate. They don't have any internet, but they are communicating. They are connected because we're all connected. It's just that they are still connected because they don't have anybody with an agenda to break the connection so that they can use us and pimp us out. See? But we need the internet because it's a pseudo. It connects us, artificially. We talk about artificial intelligence. We're artificial intelligence. We're the ones that's artificially intelligent. We're the ones hooked into this internet to communicate with everybody around the world and get instant information. If we were taught to align ourselves properly, we wouldn't even need the internet. I can just talk to you through quantum entanglement and energy. I can talk to you from Cleveland to New York, New York to Cleveland without calling you on the phone, like animals do. But we're missing it because the communication has been severed. It's intentional. And guess what? Them 13 families, they know how to do it. Okay? They're in touch. I guarantee
Man, they
you.
got codes and all. See, we've been communicating since the beginning of time. That's why they teach us not to love our hair, because they use that to communicate, to draw maps on how they was gonna get from one place to the next in somebody's head. We forever going to be connected in a way that nobody else can even explain but us. That's why I don't understand why we can't let go of somebody else's idea of who we are, that will never know who the hell we are because they not us.
Right.
And we not them. And just because they created a way doesn't mean that it's our way. Because at the end of the day, we done created everything.
Right. Everything.
He made us the source for a reason. We ain't asked for this. We didn't say, no, this is what we want on this day for everybody in our life. No, we was chosen. That's what that is called.
Right.
We didn't ask for this. We was chosen for this. That speaks volumes about who we are as a people. I've recently been telling my kids, if all of us walked with the authority that we already millionaires and rich beyond our wildest dreams, do you understand the currency? Oh my man, we don't need no money. The currency is in how we walk, how we step, how confident we are, how we don't let nobody back us down. This is what it is.
I'm gonna give you a little tip here.
Because we keeping all of y'all afloat. If everybody would stop spending money where it don't belong, anyway, half of these companies would be non-existent because we're keeping their families rich. We're putting their kids through college, and we're subsequently raising their grandkids and generations to come. Because why?
Right. I will say this to you.
What is the real reason?
Right. This is what I say. Why, like, now that you know the energy, you know how to manifest, why don't we teach this to our kids? Why can't we show them? So just a quick little something with me. So I retired 2 years ago. Be 60 in a few months. I don't work. I spend my time studying, getting closer to the source. Okay. And you know how that happened? I manifested that. I walked that out. It took me years to walk that out. But now everybody my age still working. Okay. I ain't working 2 years.
Because that's what they teach you to do, to chase after somebody else's dreams so you won't focus on your own.
Right.
That's the whole reason why they sent us to school in the first place.
That's it.
We don't utilize none of the stuff that they taught us within them 12 years that we went to school consistently.
Nothing.
Except for math.
It's not needed.
A little bit of science, if that.
Right.
And even that is minimum because it's all by your design. It's not by our design. And that's the difference.
Yep.
That's why we're able to get the same problem that the next person had and do it differently and come out with the same answer. And
that's
what the teacher gonna say? That ain't how I taught you how to do it.
How you
it
do
don't matter how you taught me how to do it. I still got the same answer. So what's the problem?
It worked. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Whatever it is I did in my mind, it worked for me.
Right.
Because here's a issue that we don't want to discuss within our community. Our children are not as smart as they should be.
Right.
We know that. We know where we fall on the chain next to everybody else's kids, right?
Yep.
So why are we still dependent on the system?
Right. So what are we going to do about it?
That exactly. Educate our kids. It's on us.
Right.
Can we stop thinking that somebody else is supposed to be educating our children?
Right.
They can't educate somebody they don't know. We learn in so many different ways. Some of us learn we got to do something physical in order for us to obtain whatever we're trying to teach. Some of us got to see it, some of us got to hear it, or some of us need to be able to do all three in order for it to make sense to us.
Right.
But it's learning patterns, it's learning styles. No two people are the same. But what y'all have done with the school system is put everybody in the bucket like crabs and try to figure out why everybody trying to bust out. Because you keep putting us in here with unlike people and expecting us to get along.
Right.
That's just like saying, why do little boys not sit down? It's not meant for y'all to sit down.
Right.
Y'all wasn't told sit down, curtsy, cross your legs, this and that.
Right.
That is what was taught to us.
Yeah.
Not y'all. Y'all are physical energy beings. Y'all have to be doing something. Life is not going to be okay if y'all not moving or doing something. Something is wrong. If y'all sitting still, something wrong.
Yep.
You sit,
if you got a guy that's sitting still, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's the psychological things that I know now where it's like, dang, I put all that pressure on my kids. To live up to this standard that they can't even really digest. I can't say how many times my son was like, I quit. I don't care. I'm not going back. I don't like nothing that they talking about. I don't like the way they treat me. This is not for me. And the only thing that kept him going was me saying, you gonna finish what you start.
Right. Because that's
And
what
that's
we do.
really all it was. I couldn't go against what he was saying he was feeling or what his experience was,
Yeah, because
because
it's
mine was
valid.
like that too. I was bored. I
Right.
was bored out of my mind. Bored. I done already
Yep.
did the work that you gave me, and now what? I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs waiting on the bell to ring because you ain't got no more work for me.
Right. Right.
Because I'm already above where I'm at in this classroom anyway. I
Yep.
don't belong here.
Right.
I never
Everybody's
fit
not the
in.
same. Yep. And it used to
I never
be
fit in though.
before the system was put into place, the kids used to learn at home, okay, from family members, from, you know, they learned the trades, they learned these things, and that's the way it was. You know, as times changed, we went away from the communication in the home to now we got a surrogate communication system set up by a person that didn't intend us any good, you know, with ulterior motives and an agenda, and now we all follow it. And we do. We still we follow it. Kindergarten, elementary, sixth you know, through 12th grade, get up, go to college, and graduate from college and work for somebody. Hooray, you've made it. That's what was communicated to us. It's never communicated to us.
But they
And our
don't
people,
realize that so many people have trauma experiences behind going to school. Maybe they lack proper clothing. Maybe
yeah,
it was stuff going on at home and it was just a difficult time for them.
right.
That wasn't the experience that they were supposed to get.
Everybody's not supposed to go to college and graduate from college and do these things. We
Man,
all got
the
different
richest people
missions.
in the world didn't even finish high school. So
Right,
we can stop with the whole narrative is college
right.
way, because college does nothing but create debt, and debt does nothing but further push us down to the bottom of the food chain. Why
It's a
we
trap. It's a trap.
if
It's a cycle.
nobody got that message, then, and shout out to my kids. They've all had opportunities to go to college. They did. They all
Right,
got asked to go to different schools.
right.
But what I learned is the things that I'm learning, the example
Mm-hmm.
that I'm choosing to be versus the mother I was, is
Right.
what's getting them to open their minds, for
Mm-hmm.
them to
Mm-hmm.
seek information regardless to what I'm saying.
Right.
Because now I need you to be able to think on your own. Is
Mm-hmm.
what is said to you, does it resonate or not? And
Right.
if not, why? And start doing your homework.
Right.
It's nothing illegal behind you questioning and going to
Right.
look for the answer to
Right.
whatever it is that's going on.
Yep.
Because that's what they don't want us to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's another detour, barrier, whatever you
Yep.
want to call the roadblock.
Don't ask any
Another,
questions.
because they don't want us to teach our kids
Right.
the truth. Because they don't
listen,
believe we know the truth. And so it's
there you
like,
go.
well, shoot, I'm banking on y'all to just keep on teaching them what y'all been taught. And that's
Right.
it.
Thank y'all.
No, it's impossible for them to be the leaders
Mm-hmm.
if none of this information gonna get to them.
Right.
We're in an era where we privy to too much information for
Too much.
them to not get it.
Right.
That's a disservice to us as the elders and the adults if we're not giving it to them.
Right.
Because our time is way shorter than theirs. They just getting started.
Yep. Because guess what?
That's our responsibility.
Right. Because we've got to change the narrative when we talk about this midlife. Listen, we always say, oh, you midlife at 50. Well, most people don't live to 100. Okay. Most of us live to 75, 80 if we good. So midlife is 35 years old. Okay. So if we've got to start teaching our people don't go with the narrative. You need to get busy, change things, focus. You see,
You need to
communication.
change the diet that you on. We unhealthy based off of us being fed the processed crap with all the forever chemicals and whatever else that's in it is what's wrong with us.
Listen,
Once we learn that we supposed to properly detox monthly, some of us then went years, and we literally talking about people being full of shit, literally, because you
literally,
done went years of eating bad. And what you think gonna happen?
right,
The
right.
gut is where everything's. What you think gonna be the end result?
Yep,
We
yep,
we 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 know how to take care of our people, yet we're still watching them die.
yep. Daily.
That's what's really crazy, because we got the antidotes. We know
Right,
what works for us.
right,
Why we
right.
not utilizing it?
I
And we
tried to
complaining
tell.
about, man.
I had a cousin, one of my cousins recently. She was talking about she had recently been diagnosed with diabetes, and so it
Mm.
goes back to we still on that communication thing because this is how we help one another. And so she said, I got diabetes and I got to take this medicine, metformin and insulin and all of this. And so,
Oh Lord, that shit is
so
killing us.
yeah, so listen to
Oh
this.
Lord.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, me not eating healthy, you know, and knowing it, uh, I got diagnosed with diabetes. I had kaleidoscope vision, Well, you notice I say I had diabetes. Okay. So they put me on this medicine, and I was like, after 3 months, I went, okay, time to do the research. Got busy with it, did the research, and you was talking about eating healthy and things like that. Changed my diet. I was 240. I'm now 200 solid. Lost 40 pounds. Been my last 2 times going back to the doctor. The doctor was like, yeah, well, you're good.
We
Keep
don't
doing what you're
know.
doing.
We can't explain what you did to
Right,
come in here and not get, because see what we fail to realize is their job is to keep us a lifelong
right.
patient.
They need us on the
This is
comeback.
what they getting paid for. How do you think they paying their bills and driving all these crazy cars
Right,
off of you? Keep coming in
right.
here talking about, I don't feel good.
Yep,
Oh, something wrong with me.
yep.
Whatever you think, you become.
There you go.
So if you don't feel good, that's why, because you keep saying, I don't feel good.
Right,
Stop speaking certain stuff over yourself, because the
right.
world sets the stage for it.
Yep, yep. That's it. That's it.
We all pre-diabetic at this point, and you ain't got to be overweight to have it.
Nope, nope.
We
It's
are
from
the
this
only
ultra
country that
processed
still
food.
consume processed food,
Yep,
sugar, and all these crazy words and chemicals that ain't nobody even heard of.
can't
Y'all
even
just
pronounce
making
them.
food out of anything.
Yep, just
Nice
making food.
3D meat. Hey,
Right.
look,
Printing, printing food.
the meat used to bleed. It don't bleed no more.
It don't
I'm
even bleed.
scared. I'm scared. Like, for real. Like, oh,
Right. There's no blood in my meat. Right.
because
Right.
we ain't supposed to be eating it anyway.
Now, if you,
But we
if
didn't, but we hold on to that story that's been told to us that we
right,
did what we had to do with the scraps because that's all we had.
right,
Okay,
right,
when you know better, you do better. Stop
right,
being lazy, because that's really what it
right,
is. Because a better diet and a healthier life requires more time and patience for you
right.
to prep, for you to
Yep,
properly clean, for you
yep,
to cook, and whatever else is
yep.
necessary. But why wouldn't you want to do that for yourself if you knew it was going to guarantee you a
Right,
long life?
right.
Why?
I
Because we
promise you
too
this.
used.
You need to, so you need to, you probably just got 10 more topics we can talk about on another podcast tonight. Seriously. A
Oh,
diet,
you
listen,
have no idea.
diet, education, uh,
Yeah.
manifesting for your personal life, how to
Mhm.
bring stuff into your realm out of the fourth and fifth dimension of your mind into our third dimension reality. You have to be taught to do that. You can't just You don't just know how to do it.
You have
Somebody
to
needs
be
to show us.
willing to be a student in
Right.
this life. That is the bottom line. The
Mhm.
moment you get to a point in your life where you feel like I know it all and I can't be taught nothing else, that's where you stop growing.
That's it.
That's it. It's like somebody that clipped the weeds and the flower too, and it ain't
And that's
nothing
it.
there but stem.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Yep.
Don't do that to yourself. Allow
That's
your
right.
mind to expand outside of the box.
Yep.
Man, this was a dope conversation. Hey, woo! I cannot wait for you to get back on the show so we can talk about so much stuff. Because there's so
Anytime.
much stuff we can talk about.
Anytime.
Man,
Anytime.
this was a really dope conversation. I hope everybody that was tuned in tonight caught those nuggets because we threw a whole bunch of them out there. I know
A
you
lot of
ain't had
stuff
time
came
to
through
write
on.
nothing down, but hey, what's for you gonna stick and the rest
Yep.
it'll fall off. Okay.
That's
So
right.
I appreciate you, Unc. I love you
All
so
right.
much.
No problem.
I can't wait for you to like talk to us about your experience as a soldier. Because I
Love to.
think that's an important conversation that need to happen. It's a lot of
Listen, here
people
we go.
that's
Two combat tours and worked in the combat zone for another 9 years. So I got plenty of stories, plenty of experiences. Yeah.
I
So
want us to discuss the effects of putting your life on the line
mental health.
for a country that ain't got nothing for you when it's all said and done. If you ain't put things in order to have for you,
Listen,
I done
please,
watched a lot of people. Woo.
listen, please put that on your podcast because I would love to expound on how soldiers, Black soldiers feel that laid their life down, put it on the line for a country where you know the rest.
Woo, that's gonna pop some heads around here.
Yeah.
But again, this is the whole reason why I do this.
That's good.
Because we have to stop hiding in little clusters, having conversations, whispers of conversations that we need to have out loud
Right.
so everybody can hear it. What we
Yeah.
whisper about, who we
I know.
scared of hearing it.
I know.
We need to hear it more than anybody. Get you a blowhorn and
Yes.
start screaming across that boy if that's what it's
Yes.
gonna take.
And get you some medicine in your life.
Hey man, okay. I'm trying, but and we can talk about that too. We can definitely talk about that too. Woo. Well, I love y'all. Make sure y'all
Love
tune
you.
in for future episodes of Unspoken Truth. I'm your host.
I'll be back on here.
Thank you, Uncle.
All right.
I'll see you soon. See
All
you
right.
on
Love
next
you.
week.
All right.
Peace.
Love you. Bye bye.